Baby, baby, baby. What is going on, everybody? Hello. I'm Keisha King Benton. Welcome. We are going to be talking about this near death experience that really it really moved me pretty deeply. And when I was listening to it, it made me think about how beautiful heaven is going to be. It made me think about all of the things that we take for granted. And it also made me think about what it would be like to hear or envision God rejecting me. And that is exactly what happened with this young woman. Just such a powerful testimony. And I wanted to share it with you all because I feel like it will give you hope. I think it certainly blessed me, and I hope it will bless you also. So her name is Riley Huddleston. And I'm gonna kind of skip parts because I don't know all the copyright and whatever. So we'll probably have to stop it um, just to, I want you to see this story, but obviously, you can watch the full story. It's like 2 hours long. We're not going to watch the whole thing. But it is a really fascinating story. Thank you guys. You can certainly put some hearts in the chat for your girl. Some gold hearts in the chat as you guys come in, and please hit the like button. Hit the like button, everybody. Please. Look at this woman, though. I feel like doesn't she have like a striking beauty? Is it me? Does she has like she's like very striking. She has these piercing blue eyes, dark hair, and I know she has like unique features. Anyway, she's a unique beauty, in my humble opinion. But her story again is just really it's pretty tragic, but it is inspiring. So we'll take a listen.
Because they were pretty far out there. And I got on the back. We did a joyride around the lake.
I'm sorry, she goes out on the boat with her friends. They're on a lake and they are on jet skis. And so they're just having fun on the jet skis on the lake.
It was Lake Cypress Springs is where we were at.
So there are like three of you on this jet ski?
Yep, it was a 3-seater jet ski. And we did our joyride. And then right before we came up to shore, we actually kind of took like a sharp turn and we ended up falling off and laughing. It was not anything serious at all. And as we went to get back on, I was the last one to get back on. And the jet ski, the best way I can describe it is it's like I stood still and the jet ski came out underneath me.
It's like you climbed on the last and then they gunned it?
No, it wasn't going very fast. It was actually, we ended up doing testing and it was 13 miles an hour. So it wasn't even anything crazy. Just, you have to have a certain acceleration to get it to go.
But it was like the jet ski just went out from under you and you fell right behind it?
Yeah. It's like I just dropped down. It's like I stood still and the jet ski came out underneath me and I just dropped down into the water, and the water pressure had hit me and hit my body, and there was just blood immediate.
So the jet's coming out of the jet ski.
Mm-hmm. Yep, hit me, and the best way to describe it is it was like a scene from Jaws, where blood just started to surround me, and I
had it like literally made a hole in your.
Yeah, I had a gaping hole in my body. Yeah. But I was still underwater at that time. So you
didn't know.
Yeah, I knew something had happened, but I was processing. And they actually didn't know that I had fallen off at first. And so when they realized, they heard me screaming and they turned around. They weren't very far. But they turned around and my roommate had jumped in the water and she grabbed the back of my life vest and super strength threw me up on the.
I'm talking and nobody can hear me. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward because it does get into, it's just a kind of graphic, and I don't want to play quite all of that. So I am going to just fast forward a little bit until when she actually has the experience. So she falls off of the jet ski. The jets hit her in her abdomen. It really just does a lot of damage.
Happening, like this is happening, and I'm so sure that it's happening, but it's unbelievable. It looked to me like a hole in the sky from who that was. We're really right outside the buoy where the accident happened. It wasn't far at all from shore, and just from that little bit, I had already lost like mobility in my legs. Yeah. So they had to pick me up and my legs were just dragging, they were carrying me to this concrete picnic table. It was chaos. People were running around and panicky, but things started to slow down and I started to process like, sorry.
It's okay.
This is not a good sign.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You started to realize at that point that you were dying.
Mm-hmm. I knew that this is it. I had that moment of realization. Okay, my life is coming to an end, and I was trying to come to terms with that, and accepting that was my fate. I knew that that's what was happening, and so I'm watching everybody else chaos, trying to save my life and get me help, and I knew this isn't gonna be good. I can see all of it happening in my brain as I'm telling you, like very vividly. It's not something that you forget, especially when you start talking about it. So,
well, and I mean, I've heard that a lot, that people who've had near-death experiences, it's not a memory that you lose. It's in your spirit. It's in your.
So also John Burke, so he wrote a book about, he is a Christian man, and he wrote a book about, he documented 1,500 or so near-death experiences, and they are all very similar, and they are all Christian biblical accounts. I don't trust any of the ones that aren't, honestly, because I have my reasons why. But so that's who he is, and so some of his documentation are people that he's interviewed for the book. He has interviewed them in person. Just to skip ahead a little bit, because
still me, but I also am looking at me, and it's like pretty quickly from my point of view, it seemed like right away. And they loaded me up and they put me in the back of the ambulance. And when they did that, they shut the doors. And as soon as they shut the doors, boom, I'm over my body. And I realized pretty quickly, like, oh, that's me. This is happening. It was a very weird feeling because I knew that was me, but I also was detaching from who that was.
The body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like
because Because you were still yourself?
Yeah. I was still me, but I also am looking at me and it's like, okay, I know that that's supposed to be me, but I'm here. So what's, just a detachment feeling like, okay. And I'm still making that noise, that sound.
Your physical body of the trying to get air.
Yeah.
But that's important, I think, because you were free at that point. Your body was still
suffering,
struggling, but the Lord had already taken you
exactly
out of your body.
And that wasn't something I thought. Is I just went from being in the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life to nothing. Like I don't. It was a really weird.
What were you feeling?
At that moment, I just remember the pain was not there. That was the biggest thing in my mind.
So much pain.
It was so painful, unbearably painful, and panicky because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
To being able to breathe, I mean, it was almost like a relief feeling. I remember it being like, oh gosh, like I could breathe again, And so as I kind of started my thoughts were like really realizing what was going on, I realized like, okay, I'm dying. My body's here. I'm not hurting. Shortly after that, I start to ascend into what looked to me like a hole in the sky.
A hole in the sky?
That's what it looked like to me, was just a hole, and light was coming out of the hole. But it looked like a hole. It wasn't a dark hole. It was
So I just want to say really quick. So she was not a believer. Okay. So this story is, it gets, it's a great story because it makes us think about, it makes us think about our decisions that we make and how we brush God. It just makes you think about little things in your life that you do that can keep you separated from God. So, but yes, we watch YouTube. She was on a jet ski on a lake with her friends, and the jet ski went one way and she sank down, and the jets hit her abdomen, and it really damaged her. I mean, just unbelievable. It's like a miracle she's even alive. But so that's the story. And her body just left, her soul just left her body. So that's where we're at in the story. That sounds crazy to even say, like, oh yes, okay, so let's pick up where we have left off. Her soul just left her body. Okay. All right. But that's what it is. I mean, this is the world. I mean, we know she was 19. She was 19 when this happened. She didn't talk about it for 7 years. And this now I think this is like 7 more years since she talked about, I forget, but she didn't talk about it for 7 years. And this is the first time she's talked about it, publicly. Yeah. It just sounds like that, but I mean, hey.
a light.
Was it big?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was big enough. To me, it looked big, but then the closer I got, it kind of got, more narrow.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really, the light was beautiful, even the light that was coming out of this hole. Mm-hmm. And I was enamored by it. I remember wanting to go towards the hole, and but also being present that my body was here, but I was being drawn, in other words, to somewhere else.
Did you know where?
No.
No.
I had no idea. At that moment, I had no I had no idea what it was really weird because I was living in the moment so much, but I was also definitely processing.
You're still yourself.
I'm still myself.
Still thinking.
Yes, exactly. I'm processing, but I'm like, is this really happening? Like, this is happening. And I'm so sure that it's happening, but it's unbelievable that it's happening, even as you're experiencing it.
Wasn't like a dream or.
No, it's very clear, very vivid. I'm more sure that happened to me than I am sitting here with you today. That's how real it is. Yeah.
I always find that so fascinating that, your personality is your personality. Like when God says, I made you, you were uniquely, wonderfully and uniquely made. It's like, yeah, even like your personalities, because you're still you. Like you are still you. And even though like the body is the thing that's like not really you. It's so crazy. It's such a, it's amazing that once you drop this, like you're more alive. You're like more, everything is like, now you're in real life. Ooh.
It's way more aware, way more, I don't know what the word is, just awake. You're fully awake. It's like you were asleep and you're fully being awakened is what it feels like.
When you're on the other side. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Or even just traveling to the other side. Once you are like, the way that it feels is it's like you felt like you had this heaviness, and when you shed your body, you're like fully awakened. It was like your body it was like a cap. You could only, I don't know, it's just the weirdest feeling. It was like constrained. Yeah, that's what your body feels like.
And now you're free.
Yep. And so
whom the sun sets free is free indeed. Can I get an amen? Wow. I mean, that just blesses my soul. You feel free. Like, oh man, that's just beautiful.
I'm starting to travel to this, what looks like to me a hole in the sky. And I start really, as soon as I start like truly ascending, I realize, oh, God is real. This is where I'm going. And that was one of the first realizations after my body and my spirit separate is, oh, this is God's world. This is what I've heard about. This is real. Earth isn't it. That was one of the first, it was like God made himself very known to me almost right away.
And it was just an intuitive, knowing?
A knowing.
And what was your belief or spiritual background or understanding before that?
So I had heard a lot about God and religion, but I don't really know how to explain it. I wouldn't say I was a believer. My parents, my mom's one religion, my dad's another religion. And they, split up, and we just kind of never talked about religion in our household. I knew my mom believed a certain thing and I knew my dad believed a certain thing, but they just couldn't really decide, I think, what they wanted us to believe. So we just didn't talk about it. And, I was, God, I think, had tried to reach out to me through different people in my life, friends and school and a whole plethora of ways. But I just believed I'm a good person, and that feels like a lot. I'd been through a lot in my life.
What do you mean?
Well, my parents, they separated when I was younger. I was, I think, in third grade, And so I got uplifted from my home and moved to another state. And, my parents, now that I'm an adult, I realize they did the best that they could. But as a child, I was very confused. I had that household where, one parent doesn't like the other parent, this parent doesn't like the other parent. And to me, it felt like, well, you don't like this person and you don't like this person. Well, that's me. So both of you hate me.
Oh.
So I felt like
rejection from
rejected.
both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even though I know that both of my parents love me as a child, that's what it felt like to me. And I just had a lot of, I think, anger, and I didn't understand adult matters. And so I was just kind of a confused person, a confused
and you told me
adolescent.
Before there was a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos, yeah. My mom remarried, and that marriage was hard. And it's hard to say, because now that I'm an adult, I see that all these people were good people. My parents, I love my parents. They're good people. Yeah. My step parents they're good people. It was just, from my point of view as a child, it felt like all you guys are worried about is each other and not me. And I just felt like kind of abandoned in a way. Not that they wanted me to feel that way. They would never want me to feel that way, but
right.
It was chaotic. It really was. It was a split home, and you got states in between us, and my dad wants one thing, my mom wants another. And then just marriages, my mom and my stepdad's marriage was a lot. And it just led me to be a confused person, and a confused teenager. And I didn't know what I felt. I didn't know where I stood. I didn't know what was right and what was wrong, not in my morals, but in a spiritual sense. And I also felt like, God, if you love me, why is there so much turmoil in my home? Why are you making me go through this if you're who you say you are?
Yeah.
Just not understanding, And so leading up to my accident, there were so many ways that God tried to reach me.
You see that looking back?
Oh, yeah. And I knew, even when I encountered God, I knew there was no question. I knew he was trying to reach me.
Wow. Again, her story is so touching because it shows just how much God is really chasing us. And she's going to talk about that. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because they talk a bit more about her family life. And she had a lot of family, trauma and stuff like that. And I'll leave the link for the full video in the description box below, but it's on John Burke's Imagine Heaven channel. So I'll leave that. But I do want to speed it up just a little bit because it is a long video. Let's see. Okay. Gosh, I feel like I need to put on my glasses. I can barely see.
Getting to experience these things.
That's why you're getting to go there.
Mm-hmm. So he started out with that. He's like, first off, this is me interpreting it, but he's like, the reason why you're able to do this is because it's so real to me. It's hard to know if that is, it doesn't, my worldly mind says, okay, you can't be in two places at once, but God, what they were in that season of my life. As I'm now
you're knowing God is real.
Whoa, okay.
How did you know that?
I don't know. It's just hard to explain. The best way I can tell you is it was like God put a USB drive in me and showed me things and revealed not just himself, but a lot of truths that are to come.
So as you're traveling through
I'm
this
just being
tunnel,
like
or
uploaded
it's like
with,
a tunnel of light,
Yep. It's just,
and you're just getting this download of information, of knowledge.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Have y'all ever had, like God give you a revelation of something, and it's like you get all this information at one time, but you understand everything that he's saying to you. It's not confusion, but it's fast. But it's so weird. It is. I call, yes, we watch you. I call it a download too. Yes, it's like, because that's the only. It's like the best word to describe it, because that's exactly what it feels like. Yes, in seconds you understand that. If that's what happened when God, when He told me that my skin color had become an idol in my life, He just like, whoosh, it was like everything became clear, like in an instant. I saw. It was like I knew exactly what he meant. It was like I heard his voice. It was very, anyway, I don't want to go into all that, but that was exactly what it was. So it's amazing. I love those moments with God.
I'm being shown visions. I'm being shown, because this is the weird thing. When I'm being shown these things, I still this day, it felt so real to me. It's hard to know if that is, it doesn't, my worldly mind says, okay, you can't be in two places at once, but God was showing me things where I'm two places at once. I'm ascending. So this whole time I'm ascending, but I'm also having these experiences. For instance, God showed me really just that Jesus is real, is what I believe He wanted me to know, is that this is about me. Jesus walked on earth. He had His time. He's your Savior. That was just, I got these, and it probably doesn't make any sense to you, but He showed me bread. I knew that He was the reason, I guess, that I'm getting to experience these things.
That's why you're getting to go there.
So He started out with that. He's like, first off, this is me interpreting it, but He's like, the reason why you're able to do this is because Jesus did this for you.
It's interesting because Jesus said, I'm the bread of life.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if
I don't know. It's, I'm still processing everything that has happened. I'm still trying to figure out, some of it, what it all means, because a lot of it is like, I don't know why He showed me that. That's just what He showed me.
And was that a new idea that Jesus actually lived on earth?
To me, yeah. I had no idea. That's how I really knew nothing. I would even go to say I didn't even know that Jesus, I knew the name, but I knew nothing about anything. I just, anytime it really got brought up, I just strayed away from it. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I felt about it. I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to learn about it. I didn't know anything. That's the truth. I just knew nothing. And so how can you know where you stand with something that you know nothing about? And so I don't know if I would say I was a non-believer, but I definitely wasn't a believer. I was just kind of
indifferent.
Yeah. I just didn't know, and I didn't care to know.
Whew, that is, I think that's like hot or cold, people that are like in between, that's that. I mean, it's lukewarm. There are lukewarm, but there's people that are indifferent. Just you're not even thinking about it. That's wild. That's crazy work, as a friend Jay Witt would say.
And yet now you're in this tunnel of light.
Now
I
know. Yeah. Now I'm more sure than I was even sure that I lived a life on earth. This is more real to me than what life I just lived was.
Wow.
Which is a
That's
very
so
overwhelming
wild.
feeling.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to understand.
It is, because even talking about it or reliving it is, words don't.
Well, and Riley, we've talked about how it's taken you a while to tell it because of that. And I told you that's, having studied 1,500 cases of near-death experience, it's common.
Yeah.
Takes usually about 7 years for someone to process it.
That's about right on track for
to
me.
be able to talk about it. And I think the reason is because, I use the analogy, is as if we were living this experience on a flat black and white painting on the wall, and all of a
Exactly.
sudden you're brought out into a whole new dimension, that you knew your flat world, and now you have another dimension, a third dimension, you experience it, and then you're put back in the flat world.
Exactly.
Which was less real because it had less dimensions than this
the
world.
life
what you experienced.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to explain 3 dimensions, but in 2-dimensional words.
Exactly. That's perfect.
And I think that's
exactly
why people, and it's a sacred experience too, right?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
and people kind of look at you and you think
no one
thinking
understands.
you're crazy.
Yeah, people think I'm crazy. Yeah.
So that's why many people. I'm curious, did you even know about near-death experiences before this?
No. Ended up seeing a picture of a distant relative, like great, however many greats, I'm not even sure. I've tried to find the picture, but I can't find it. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I knew that it was someone in my family. Like, it was a picture of.
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through this part because she's again talking about her family past, and they spend quite a bit of time on this. But basically, as she's ascending into heaven, or the pre area, the waiting area, going up into the sky, God is showing her the family trauma, how it had passed through the different generations. And this part is really interesting because what she says is basically that she's passing, she's going like way. He's showing her how this trauma in her family happened years, like great granddaddy, something like that, where there was infidelity, adultery. And it just, she said it felt like God was, she was actually experiencing what it felt like for, her great whatever grandmother, and just how it affected each generation. That sin, it was just like hurt and pain just passed down. And she was like, it was like a ripple effect that she was kind of like walking through. So it's quite intense, but I am going to speed it up because I want to get to some other parts of the story. Let's see here.
Experience. This isn't.
Well, you'd never read the Bible, had you?
Mm-mm.
So in.
I don't know how to explain that, but I experienced heart pain that had carried, and maybe some people understood it. Maybe some people.
Why did
I think I'm supposed to break it.
Break the generational curse.
She says she's supposed to break the curse.
Well,
or not.
You'd never read the Bible, had you? So in Exodus chapter 34, when God is revealing who he is to Moses, he says, I'm Yahweh, the God of compassion and kindness. I love to shower loving kindness on thousands of generations of those who love me, but I don't leave the guilty unpunished, and the sins of the parents pass down to the 3rd and 4th generation.
That makes perfect sense.
And and some people think like, well, why would he do that? Why would he punish children for their parents' sins? And I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think he's warning us about the way the world works. It's kind of like, don't walk off the roof, you'll drop to the ground. It's gravity.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're shown this. You're still traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going fast?
By the way, that is my theology on that too. I don't think that is correct, Julian. I was just going to say that it's not generational curses like, one curse, because your grandfather did something, it's going to pass down to you. It's more like the behavior uncorrected is going to affect other people. That's what it is. The unhealed trauma, you living your life unhealed, it will affect your children and then their children and like that. It is not that it pass like it legally passes down. It passes down because you don't get healed in those areas.
Fast.
What's crazy is I was going fast. Yes, it happened fast, but then all these things
Are happening
simultaneously. Yes,
and it's like you're traveling fast, but then you're in this other experience.
Right. It's like I'm going both this way and this way.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense?
It does to me.
Okay.
Only because I've heard it. I've heard it so many times. It's not. We can only have linear experiences.
Right. Yeah.
But on the other
it's
side,
not like that.
It's not like
it's
that.
Not like that. And so I'm being shown Jesus is real. He reigned. My family, one of probably many, but just that one specifically of my family, where a heartache started in my family. And then I get shown. Well, let me preface this by saying, so at a certain point, I start to kind of banter with God. I'm like, okay, so you're him, you really are. Yeah, you're the big deal. And
side note, y'all, that would be totally me. Okay, let me just tell you, when I saw this, like this, I don't know, y'all. I loved her story because I'm silly. Like I love to joke and play. And I know we talk about a lot of serious stuff on here and y'all see me, I laugh and stuff, but I am even more like that behind the scenes. Okay. So, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool. Like, I can't wait to see Jesus. And like, cause it's like, we're going to pick up where we left off because I was just talking to him like, a little bit ago. And so when I do finally get on the other side and be like, okay, so anyway, what's tea? What's good? Like, show me around, like what's up? It's just because he made us, like our personalities. And sometimes, I am certainly guilty of this. Like, I feel like, oh, like my personality, why do I feel like I'm about to cry? Oh my gosh, whatever. Sometimes, you feel like your personality is too much or it's not enough, or you're like, this person doesn't like your person. Like I'll speak for myself, just being insecure. And, because you're you, and you see how anyway. But when I hear this, it just reminds me like God made me like this. Not saying that there aren't things about myself that I don't have to change, but I'm talking about the core of who I am, like the good things about me, like being funny or silly and those kind of things. Like it's not wrong, and it's not, you're you. And I think you get to feel that more, that acceptance when you're before the Lord. You don't feel all crazy. So
you told me that's kind of your personality.
It is. Yeah. I love to laugh. I'm a big jokester. Most of the time, I'm not going to be caught talking about a whole lot of seriousness. I think laughter is medicine, and it's helped me through a lot of really dark times in my life.
Yeah.
So that's more my personality, what I gear towards.
I think that's an important point that people don't realize is that when we leave this world, we're still ourselves.
Us, yeah, absolutely.
Completely.
Like more so,
Mm-hmm.
if you can wrap your head around that, more so than even here. Because we get hurt here and it changes us. And we kind of go back to like how we started, how he intended us to be. And who I am, my family would vouch for this, but who I am is a very loving, fun, big on laughter, but I have a really big heart. And the world had made me not that way as much. And
More
so
guarded and-
way more guarded. I had walls higher than you could imagine, as I'm sure a lot of people experience. All that was gone, and I was free and experiencing just awesome. Even all these things I'm being shown, knowledge is fun. When you learn something, it's amazing. So not only knowing that wasn't it, that life on earth wasn't where it ended, was awesome. God showing you all these experiences was awesome, even though they weren't always fun. I mean, learning there's a generational curse is not fun, but it was awesome. To know, to understand.
Okay, so let's keep going on your journey.
So, okay.
You're starting to banter with God.
Yes, I am. I'm start to make some jokes. I'm like, you're really him. Like you're that guy. And he shows me.
Is he speaking to you?
Not yet. He's not speaking to me yet, but he's downloading me with information.
Okay.
And he shows me an image, which is just going to sound crazy, but he shows me an image of a comedy club in heaven.
Okay. What? A comedy club in heaven?
Yes, there are people.
What do you mean by an image?
Well, I guess image, I don't know if image is the right word, because it's a vision. It's like I'm there.
So it's like suddenly you're there.
Suddenly I'm there.
And where were you?
And there's a stage. It's dark. People are laughing. There's a lot of laughter and a lot of sounds coming out of it. But it's a song, but everybody's laughing. And there's someone up there, and I'm back far enough where I can't see who it is. But the purpose was that he was showing me, like, I don't know if he was making a joke or if he was saying, this is where you're going to be. I'm not sure, but maybe both. But he showed me that. And I thought, I think that he was like, where do you think you got that from? That came from me. Laughter and humor. And that it's a language, and some people's love language. And
I think so many people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Like, we think God is just stoic and so.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I am over here like, I don't know, her story it's so amazing to me, like the things that God showed her, because I don't know, I just love this. Like, girl, you got that from me. I love it. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, that just warms my heart. It makes me know like how much God loves us. Like, that's Okay, we're finishing. Okay.
Serious
all the time, and
he's fun.
He's the one who created every pleasure, every joy,
That's what I felt from
him.
And
laughter and humor is one of the highest forms of communication.
That's what I felt like he was like making me laugh back. He's like, you're so funny. You got that from me here. Like that's the way I interpreted it.
And did you really think that there are comedy clubs in heaven?
Yes.
Why did you know that was heaven?
I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like there is. Do I think he showed me that to be funny? Yes. But do I think that that's actually there? Yeah, I do. And he showed me a lot of different images of, I don't know, is image the right word? It feels like an image because I have a vision of a specific moment. So I say image, but it was an experience.
Like you were there?
Mm-hmm. Like
so you
I was
experienced
there.
It. Kind of like you experienced your great-grandmother.
Right.
Number 7.
But there's like a significant image that when I think about it, I think about that. Does that make sense? So I say image because I can see the surroundings of what it looked like. That's what's like burned in my brain. But I was there.
Look like?
All of it. I mean, yes, like with my grandparents, the things he showed me of heaven. He showed me the comedy club, which I thought was hilarious, to be honest. I really did think that was really funny. But then he showed me there were people and pets.
So he's now showing you heaven.
Yeah, I'm in heaven.
You're in heaven.
But I'm not in heaven because I'm still ascending.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm both. I don't know.
I think that's possible. Like I said,
I'm there and I'm not there.
Yeah.
And I always have said,
but it was an experience.
It was an experience. All of these things I felt like I lived them, but then I was traveling. So my worldly mind says, how can that be? But it was so real.
Can't here.
Yeah, it can't be here. But so I'm looking around and it's like Earth, but just beautiful, more vibrant, more green, but then there's colors that don't exist here. There's things I really just am seeing nature. I mean, but there's people and pets, and it seems like everybody's to me, it was like everyone is on a mission. They're doing something. They're living.
You saw that happening?
Yeah. But they're also, I say they were singing, but their mouths weren't singing. Their spirits were singing and all harmonizing, but also all working. It was unbelievable. It was indescribable. They were living
life, like we live life,
like a real life, like doing things and playing with animals. And I could tell they were walking with purpose. Like they were on their way to do something. But they were all making this amazing, beautiful orchestra, harmonizing, but everybody sounded different. Every soul, like the pets sounded different than the people. The people sounded different than the trees.
So the pets are there?
Mm-hmm. All kinds of pets. I just saw all kinds of pets, just all.
And they have a song as well?
Mm-hmm. And the flowers.
And the flowers have a song?
But they're all harmonizing.
So they're different. They're each individual.
And there was instruments that aren't here that I recognize that were not here. I'm like, whoa, that sounds awesome. But we don't have that
but
here.
You never heard it here. And you're hearing music?
Yeah, I was hearing music, but I got the vibe that was just how it was there. It wasn't like distracting, or it was just the way of how it was. It was like, there weren't words for me. Like there were just sounds that sounded like worship. Felt like everybody was worshiping God without words.
But without words.
But with lots of music and sound, and everything was unique. And something that God showed me is that who you are is exactly who you are in heaven, just more your real self. And you're going to have, that God gives you these spiritual gifts. And I think that's what those people were doing. They were using their spiritual gift. I don't know what they were doing, but they had purpose. And God revealed to me that he gives us a spiritual gift on earth, and we choose if we want to use it or not. But you will use it in heaven, and you'll have so much purpose in that.
So it doesn't stop. It continues on with the gifts we've been given to develop them and use them.
Yep. And another image that he showed me was, there was people, say you love to hunt.
This part I found was so funny, and it just made me think about my dad, because my dad was a hunter. So this would be my dad in heaven. But this is a funny word too.
Hunting in heaven, but they weren't hunting an animal. They were hunting I don't even know what it was, to be honest. It was like an orb with wings and eyes and glowing. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was
Hunting like to kill?
no. They were just hunting it.
Kind of like tracking, like a game?
Tracking it. Yeah. They were tracking it is probably the better. But they were using stuff to try to catch it. I know I sound insane. I know this is crazy. I'm doing my best, but
no. Well, I think that's fascinating. You told me before that your stepdad is a
yes.
hunter.
So I thought.
Do you think that's why you were shown that?
Mm-hmm. I do. I thought about him.
When you saw that?
Mm-hmm. I was like,
oh, he's going to love this.
He's going to love this. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
and
they had so much
like
purpose in that. Like they were doing it.
I have to say this. So when I first started listening to these stories and they were describing things that seemed things that I would not have necessarily pictured in heaven just by things that I'd heard or I thought the Bible said and things. Some of that stuff was not even true. But what I had to remember, what God showed me, is that the earthly realm came out of the supernatural realm. The things that are seen came from the unseen. So there are things that we see here that there are things that you would see in the supernatural realm that you won't see here. They just don't exist like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of like, okay, this is heaven. Like, I mean, they literally have angels. We don't have that on earth. You know what I mean? Like, not that we see. So it's different. It's the same, but it's different. So I have to remind myself of that, because the Bible talks about there's streets and there's jewels and roads, and God has a holy city, and it's all of this beautiful, amazing things. And I have to remember it's not all the way like earth. Okay.
For God, for whatever reason, God needed this thing and they were getting it, but it was fun and it was purposeful. And there was just so many enlightening little things like that. Like if you like fall, you can live in a place where there's fall. It's like one street over, it's winter, one street over, whatever.
You saw that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just saw different
seasons, like locations of different seasons.
But all the time.
And is this a city, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, I am in it. Everything there was, the colors of everything was like out of this world. Nothing I've ever seen. It was so beautiful. But it looked like Earth, but just more beautiful. I didn't see a lot of buildings, but I got the feeling that I was I was somewhere that he wanted me to see, but it wasn't, I didn't see, when I'm talking about like the fields and the people, there wasn't any buildings at that point. There was just people living in a beautiful, what looked like a beautiful earth to me, but was more beautiful. I just remember it was like, this is so much like, it feels like earth, just better and bigger and more beautiful. And I didn't expect that. I don't know what I thought. I don't even know if I ever thought about it, but I do remember still, I'm like, it was so much like this, but better. But I will say he also showed me an experience or an image of a wall that was as high up as I could see and as far as I could see. And it was see-through, but I couldn't really see. It was translucent.
The wall was translucent?
Kind of, yeah. It was kind of translucent, but it had jewels. Like every diamond or ruby or like gem that you could think of, but maybe even some that don't exist, were on this wall. It was amazing. But it had gold elements to it, but it was kind of translucent looking. I know. You're like trying to follow me.
No,
It was amazing.
No, because
it was unreal, John. It was like holy.
Mm-hmm. And did you have a sense of where you were?
Yeah, I mean, I knew.
Like what that wall was?
I didn't really know because I didn't see a gate.
And no significance to it?
Not really. I mean, I just remember looking at it and being like, this is a barrier. That's what I remember thinking. This is a barrier. It's a beautiful barrier, but it's a barrier. I didn't see any way in or out.
You didn't see a gate or a archway or anything like that?
Nope. Just the wall.
But these gemstones in this wall. And did the wall, was it solid?
Yeah.
So it was like made of rock, or what was it made of?
I don't know. I'd never seen anything like what this was. But every detail on it, like, I don't know, you could just tell it was perfect, which nothing is ever perfect, but this was perfect. Like just the way that it was made was perfect, in whatever it was made of was perfect. It was magical.
So when you told me about this, I asked you, have you ever read Revelation chapter 21? Yeah. And you said you hadn't.
I haven't.
And
I still haven't. I mean,
so I want to read it because you're describing the wall of the holy city of God. Mm-hmm. And that's what John saw when Jesus took him into heaven. And he's up on a very high mountain looking down, but he's describing the wall around the city, and there are 12 gates, but they're really more like archways. Yeah. With like this pearlescent material in them. That's
a great pearl. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I can see it.
Yeah. So here's what John says, because he's trying to describe, I think, the same wall. Mm-hmm. He says, the wall was made of jasper, and the city was pure gold, as clear as glass.
What the heck?
You had never read that?
No, never.
That's exactly what you were trying to describe.
Yeah.
The wall of the city was built on foundation stones inlaid with 12 precious stones: jasper, sapphire, agate, emerald, onyx, carnelian, chrysolite, beryl, topaz. I can't even say that one.
Yeah.
Jacinth, amethyst. The 12 gates were made of pearl, each a single pearl, and the main street was gold as clear as glass.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like iridescent. Is that the right word? It's like, I don't know, but that sounds exactly like it.
But
I didn't see any gates.
But maybe that's why you felt that wall was a barrier at that point.
Yeah.
Because it is the entrance into the holy city. It's the wall around. And it says the angel measured it in Revelation 21. It says it's 1,400 miles long in a square and 1,400 miles high.
It was as high and as long as I could see from where, but I was also standing like flesh. I mean, I was standing
close.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was, I couldn't touch it, but I was like, my feet in the beginning of the wall were at the same level.
Oh, okay.
So it was very gigantuous to me. Yeah. I was like, whoa, this is a barrier. That's what I felt.
So was this the point at which you told me you had a life review is this the point, or is it?
Oh, actually, so the life review, after God revealed himself to me, I had a life review. And
what was that like?
it was hard, because he showed me all the love that I'd ever encountered in my whole life. From the moment, like things and people that I didn't remember, their smells and their just them, like things I didn't remember what they looked like, what they smelled like, what they sounded like. I relived all that. He
It
showed
was the
me.
same kind of re-experiencing.
Mm-hmm. And
are you seeing it too, or you're just re-experiencing it?
I'm more re-experiencing it, but it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm I'm ascending, but I'm also being shown all the love that I had ever encountered in my life.
Mm.
And then he showed me, and this was something that, so some back knowledge is I'd always wondered, and I'd asked God probably 3 times throughout my life. And I didn't talk to God very much before that, but I did ask him, if you're real, why would you let people die the way that you let people die? How can that be good? Why do you let these people, horrible things, the way that people die? And then I remember there was some tragic events that, had happened. I knew some things that had happened to people, and I always had wondered that. And there was 3 different times that I'd asked that question. And he'd showed me how my death affected my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. My 2 younger brothers, they're still children at that point, so maybe they just hadn't. But he showed me those people, and he showed me how my death affected the rest of their life.
So this is kind of a flash forward.
Mm-hmm. So a flashback and a flash forward.
Okay.
And he shows me that my mom was very angry. My death made her very angry, and how that affected her. He showed me that my dad turned to unhealthy coping. He was still a hard worker and things, but he would turn to alcohol to cope. And then he showed me how me passing actually stunted the spiritual growth of my brother and my sister. And knowing all of that, I looked at them like they were children. I was
What
like,
do you mean?
if only you knew. I understand that this is going to hurt you. This is how I felt about it. I understand that this is going to hurt you, but you have no idea what's awaiting, and this is going to be awesome. I had already come to that conclusion. As soon as he revealed that he was real to me, I knew, I just had this hope that I just knew something amazing was coming. And so as I'm having this life review, I look at people on earth and my family like they're children. I'm like, you just don't get it, but you will, because you're going to be with me soon. I knew their sadness. I felt their sadness. I felt things that they were going to experience. I was so aware, but also it was such a higher understanding that you're like, but I'm not going to suffer there with you. Like, if you knew what's waiting, you wouldn't be sad. You wouldn't let that affect you that way. You wouldn't stunt your life. You wouldn't let these things prevent you from growing. You would know God and have hope for the future.
So this is fascinating, because you didn't know God, and now you're like thinking,
I know all these things.
You'll know God. It'll be great.
It'll be great. We're going to live together. It's amazing. It was amazing. And he answered my question, because I'd always wondered, why would you let people die? And I realized he showed me that the way that we die, we're not there for. My body is having its own journey, still suffering at some point I do believe that my heart stopped in the back of that ambulance, but my body was going through one thing and I'm going through a completely different experience. That's amazing. I mean, the best day of my life, the best experience I've ever experienced in my whole life.
And you went through a tragic death.
Yeah. What you would think to be was horrible, but
I think that's so important for people to hear, especially in light of some of the tragedies that have recently happened.
Yeah.
To realize what you're picturing that happened may not be their experience at all.
You might be, this is the real truth. You might be watching someone suffer, but they might not be there because my body was suffering. And sure, I might have been there briefly, but I wasn't there. And I was having this whole separate experience. And my family was going to be affected thinking that I suffered a horrible death. I was gutted.
Yeah.
I lost my lower intestines, my gallbladder, my pieces of my colon. I was gutted like a fish falling out of my body. And my family thought that was horrible,
Right.
and it affected them, but it wasn't like that
For you.
for me.
I think that's so important for people to hear.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was the opposite of horrible. I didn't want to come back. Even though I knew coming back meant my family wouldn't suffer in those ways, I did not want to come back. I wanted to go and be with God and live my purpose. And to me, it felt like y'all are going to be here so fast. To me, it felt like tomorrow is what it felt like to me. Not that there was time on it, but that's just how soon it felt.
Because time just works so differently on the other side.
Exactly. So to me, it felt like no time.
And that's
all.
why you said you looked at them kind of like children, like, you're making a big deal out of nothing.
That's exactly how I felt. I'm like, y'all are going to do all this stuff.
Okay, speeding it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know which to choose.
That's exactly it. It's selfishly, it's like you don't
love, but I think it's also, C.S. Lewis said, God whispers to us in our pleasure, but he shouts to us in our pain.
But he sent all these people to love me. It was moments. It was all the moments in my life that were made up of love, whether it was someone that I loved or they loved me. Like even as a baby, I remember seeing people that loved me and knowing that they loved me and remembering that they loved me. And there was a whole life experience of just the parts of love. Like he really wanted me to know that I was loved and how much I was loved, and not just by him, but he sent all these people to love me. And I think he showed me that because maybe I had felt unloved in my life. Because
of the chaos and all that.
So that was very.
And so he was showing you like, boom, boom.
From the moment, from the moment you were born, he was love, 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 love. All kinds of people.
Through all these people. And did it go all the way up to?
It went all the way up to the very last phone call that I had with my sister.
And what was that?
She was like, I love you, be careful. Like she was worried, but it was out of love. So it was like it all flashed before my eyes.
Oh, wow. What were some of the poignant ones that you remember?
I remember my
said that to you.
And I forgot all about it. So there was.
And he brings that back and you're re-experiencing it. But are you?
All kinds of love in your life.
1 John 4 is all about love. And it says, we love because he first loved us,
Mm-hmm.
which means that he was showing you his love through all of those, little points of encounter, but we only experience it filtered
Mm-hmm.
through hurting, broken humans.
Yeah, it was very healing. And that's something that I carry with me today, because I am very hard on myself, but I realize I have a lot of love, and I realize love when I see it now, whereas maybe I didn't before. Live life differently, and I see it differently now. I've just been shown this magnificent wall. I just know that it's resembling a barrier, and then I'm back and I'm ascending, and I'm getting a lot closer to what looks to me like this hole in the sky, and it's beaming light, and I'm ecstatic. I'm pumped. I'm starting to realize that I'm getting closer to the destination that was headed to. And I'm really excited. In fact, I remember being like, let's go. Like, I know all this stuff. God is real. Heaven is real. Life didn't just end. My life's just beginning. And I don't have to suffer. And my life, like, everything's amazing. Joy, happiness. I mean, all the most beautiful emotions times of infinity you're experiencing. And the closer that I'm getting, the
is it closer to the end of this journey,
yeah,
tunnel, or whatever
it's getting stronger. Like, the intensity of love and
is increasing.
It's increasing. Yeah, it's like,
did you think, like, I'm going to heaven?
I don't know if I even thought of that. I think I just realized I was coming to my destination. But the feeling, the pouring into me that I felt, like, just love and acceptance and truth and happiness and laughter, and I mean, just the most peace and holiness. Like, it just was intense, but like infectious. Like, I just wanted more. I was so excited. I understood what I was leaving behind, and I was okay with it. And my eyes were, let's go.
Straight ahead.
Yeah. I get it. And I hate that. I hate what I'm leaving behind, but I can't go back there. That's what I felt. I can't, now that I know the truth, I can't go back there. And I go through this light, and it's real bright when I go through it. And it wasn't the kind of bright that hurts your eyes. When you stare at the sun, you're like, It wasn't that kind of bright. It was like a beautiful magnet type of bright. It was like engulfed you and embraced you, and it felt warm and loving. And I don't know, it was beautiful. And it was just, this light was like, no words, really, like no words to exist that
so
really
you're
do
now
justice.
Out of this tunnel or whatever you're traveling in,
or I'm like, yeah, going through it.
Going through it.
Yeah, I mean,
have you stopped moving now, or
no,
are you still
not yet.
You're still going? Okay.
So as I'm approaching what seems to be like the bigger gist of this light, then the emotions are getting just so intense, and I'm so excited. And then I go through this light, and all of a sudden I'm in this space. I don't know, there was nothing there, but it was a space. And the first thing I did, I mean, aside from seeing I'm just in this like white light, I'm in the light. Like, that probably sounds really cliche, but that's what it felt like.
That's where you were.
Yeah. I'm in the light, and I look down, and I noticed that my like my body was still my body, but my skin was like kind of see-through-ish, kind of, but it was still my skin, but it was a little like transparent looking kind of. But then I noticed I have a scar on my leg, and it's all the way across my leg. And the scar was gone.
You noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
interesting.
My scar's gone. And then I'm kind of just taking it all in, like, okay, well, what now, you know? But I'm there was such a hope for the future. I was so excited. It was like I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know what was going to happen. But I was excited for whatever was about to happen. Yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but that's what it felt like. And so I was just excited. And then all of a sudden, another light is coming from above me now. Instead of me going to the light, this light opens up and it starts coming to me.
What did that look like? It looked different than the light all around you?
Yeah, it was different. It was like this new light came from somewhere different than where I was at. And as it got closer to me, it was similar in the sense of like the lights beamed off of it, and even the just like being in the presence of this light, I could feel, I don't know, love like radiating more from this light that was coming down. And as it got closer, I mean, it had more, it's like I was in this white space light, but this light was like a sunset, but way more beautiful than any sunset. But it was getting closer to me, and it was like being able to be close to a sunset, but it was just more beautiful.
Like the sun?
Yeah. Yes.
But not blinding, not hard to look at?
Right. Exactly. And it was above me. And as it got closer, I saw a silhouette of what I believe was God. And
looking like what?
It was just an outline of what looked like a person. But it was the light was, I couldn't see any features. It was just an outline of what looked like a person to me, a very massive person, but just looked like an outline of something.
Because it like was silhouetted against the light, or?
It was like, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if it was this and the light was, or if the light was coming off of, I don't know. But I could only see the outline of what I believe was God.
A person.
And
you think that was Jesus, or?
I think so. I'm not, it was God, whether it was.
You knew it was God.
Yeah. Because, it was God. Because not that I could see him, but it was God's light. I was definitely in the presence of God, for sure.
Did you just intuitively know that, or?
Yeah. It wasn't like he declared that, but I knew it. Like, you just know it. You know every fiber in your body that's what that is. That's who that is. But everything around you is like so beautiful. It is. I still struggle to find words because there aren't any.
Yeah, there aren't.
To really explain it, but it was awesome and beautiful. And as it got closer to me, like it was so beautiful. I didn't want to take my eyes off of it, but I also didn't want to look at it either. I felt like, I don't, bashful or something. I don't know. Like, I was excited. I still had that like excitement, like that child, like I felt like a child again. I was really alive, and I felt this love and this just overwhelming sense of belonging and love and peace and all the things that I'm sure you've heard. But that was real. Like it there was just no question. It was just so real and infectious, and like you don't ever want to be away from that kind of feeling.
Right.
But in the same sense, you're so humbled by something so powerful. Like you feel the power and I don't know the word, but it feels massive and
just the magnificence of the presence.
Yeah, it's unlike. It's just there's nothing like it. There's nothing I've ever felt like that ever. Not even like a glimpse of it. Not even a tiny bit. It's just so extraordinary. Being just in the presence of God, and He hasn't even said anything to me. This is just me being me in the presence of God. It was awesome and humbling and all kinds of emotions. And when He got to me,
Well, this is the part it gets a little heavy, and after this, then we will wrap it up. And let's finish up.
He spoke to me, and He didn't speak like I'm speaking to you. He spoke to me audibly in my heart, in my spirit. And He told me that life back there was about me. He said, love is a choice. I am love. You didn't choose me. I know you because I created you, but you didn't choose me. You missed the boat. So that's the first thing that God said to me. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that was heavy in the sense of that's the first thing that God wants you to know, is that you didn't choose Him, when I just have been shown the truth. It was a heavy moment for me.
The truth about what?
Everything, that He's real, that heaven is real. He's just shown me all these amazing things. I want to be with Him because I know He's real now. I want to be with Him forever. And I know that's where I belong. But then He's telling me that life back there was about me, and you didn't choose me.
Did He explain what that meant?
He didn't have to.
You knew?
Mm-hmm.
What did you know?
I mean, essentially, I rejected God a lot. He tried to reach out to me a lot in my life.
Did you see that?
I knew. It wasn't like when He said that, I wasn't shocked. I was hurt that I had chose that. And He was hurt. I could feel His sadness because He wanted me so bad. Mm-hmm. And that He did create me. I knew I was home, especially when He spoke. It was like an epiphany. I was like, you made me. That I had an epiphany. Or maybe it just, I don't know, but that's when I thought, you made me. And then I felt His hurt because I didn't want Him back. And He sacrificed so much for me, and I felt that. And I felt sorry. I was sad that I did that, but I knew immediately, sorry. I knew there was no question. I knew God had tried to reach out to me after I'd experienced all this, and He's saying, you didn't choose me. I knew. I mean, I knew that he had tried to reach me a lot.
And you had not
reciprocated it. And I started to repent and just I dropped down to my knees and I just told him I was sorry. And sorry. I just couldn't believe I was in a position that I did that to myself. That I'm finding that God is real, and he did like a separation. Like, I didn't see him, but I felt him do this to me. Like, I'm sorry, like.
But you felt his hurt in that?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like he was saying, I was wanted you
He was so bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you saw the times when he had pursued you. What?
Whew, that part right there, that is it. That's depart from me. I never knew you. That's what that is. It is that part, and the part before where she's, just talking about heaven and stuff, like, but that end where, because that is exactly the verse. That's what it is. It is that I love you, but I can't, you rejected me. You rejected me. And, oh man, that is not what you want to hear. And I think that we have to be mindful, even the things that we say, because a lot of these stories, they talk about the things that they have said to people that they are reminded of. God is mindful of even what we say to others. That this whole the lukewarm, all of that is real. That includes what you say. It doesn't just mean, the sin that people can see. I think that we have to remember those. I mean, this woman was not a believer. It is God's grace and mercy that she got a second chance. But for those of us who do profess the name of Christ, I think sometimes we don't think about the rejection that we haven't dealt with. We don't think about the bitterness that we might hold in our heart. We don't think about, some people just flat out hate other people and profess to be Christians. Some people deal with a lot of internal conflict that they think is just, going to be accepted when they get before the Lord. And, because she was like, I was not I thought I was a good person. I don't know if she said that already, if we skipped it, but she says that in here. I thought being a good person was enough. And it's not, and so even as professing Christians, we have to remember it's not just sins on the outside. And it's not just, oh yes, I believe in Jesus, but he wants the fruit of that to exist within our internally. That thing got to be walked out in how you treat other people, what you say to other people too.
Like what?
There was a time, there was a thing called SOS my school had. And the Holy Spirit was heavily there. In fact, me and my brother, we both felt it. It was one of the times that the Holy Spirit was very heavy, that it affected me. But then I rejected.
It was like a student thing.
Yeah, at school.
And you heard the message?
Yeah, I heard it and it made me emotional. And I felt like God wanted me to get saved. but I didn't do it. My brother did, but I did. And there was moments like that where God 100% wanted me. He reached for me a lot. He was tapping my shoulder. He chased after me. He really did. And I just didn't reciprocate it out of my own anger or my own worldliness, And so I'm learning the ramifications of what happens when you do that. And that was hard.
I mean, looking back now, because you do love Jesus and you are right with him. What do you think was going on in your head during that time, in your heart?
I mean, I was sorry, truly. I felt.
No, I mean in those times when you rejected him.
Anger. I think I was just. It's hard to say because some of it was sadness, some of it was confusion, some of it was like, why do I feel this way? What everybody else believes in God. Am I supposed to believe in God? I don't know. It just feels like a lot. I'm confused. Some of it was just selfishness. Like, that's heavy. I don't like to talk about anything heavy. I don't want to deal with that. There was a lot of times.
Kind of shutting down on it. And
every time.
Not dealing with it. Well,
exactly.
I've said this to you. But I think a lot of why he said that to you was not so much for you, but for others who will hear this, who maybe have just been going along like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that was me.
God, I don't know. That was me.
Yeah.
I mean, that was me at your age.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm doing fine. I don't need God.
Yeah. Like, what is he?
And if there is a God, I'm good. I'll get the pass.
And I did say that. I said, I'm a good person. So, if there's a God, that has to be good enough.
But I think a really important thing that you said to me as well before was it wasn't that he was rejecting you.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that?
Yeah. I knew it was my own choices. It wasn't like I was shocked by my choices. I was sad that I didn't listen, and he was sad, probably sadder to have to separate from me. And that's what it felt when he said that to me. I went from feeling on top of the world, the best day of my life, to immediately the worst day of my life, because I knew I was going to be apart from him. Whatever that meant, I didn't know, but I didn't like that feeling of apartness from him. I didn't want to do that. And he was heartbroken. And I repented for what felt like a long time. I didn't want to make any excuses. And I guess I'd accepted maybe I deserve to be apart from you. I get it, or something. But I just told him how sorry I was. And he said, you've impacted, is what he said. You've impacted enough of my people that I've heard their prayers for you, and I'm actually going to let you go back.
You've impacted enough of my people. I've heard their
prayers for you. And I was all, okay.
So they wow, that chokes me up. Mm-hmm. They loved you. You'd been kind to them. Mm-hmm. They had prayed for you. Mm-hmm. and God heard him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to give you another chance.
The power of prayer, it saved me.
Mm.
And the craziest part about it is on earth, that had nobody even knew I was dying yet. So that was a future that he had already seen happening. And what did end up happening is my community pulled through for me, prayed for me, had prayer chains. My community showed up for me with, here I am thinking I'm not loved. I was very loved.
Mm.
It saved my life. So
Yeah.
he let me go back. And before I came back, he said to me, "You'll never be able to be perfect." Okay.
Why do you think he says it?
I don't really know why he said that, but I know that I'm very hard on myself, and I have perfectionist tendencies, and probably the same reason why it's taken me 14 years to tell his story, because I'm not good enough or perfect enough.
Yeah.
So I think he knew I was going to struggle with that, and
Send it to you in love.
out of love, a gift,
A gift. Don't put that on yourself. You're not going to be able to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, okay, Shab. No, we don't worship Muhammad. I don't. I actually am learning a lot about the Quran. So, yeah, I think y'all need to get it figured out why Muhammad was marrying 6-year-olds. Okay, so you get that figured out, and then then I mean, I'm never going to be a Muslim. It's never going to happen. You got some things to work out. Okay, but I love this story. It really just reminded me to be more mindful of the things that I say, to go before the Lord and ask God to you know to what's the word I was going to say, to oh goodness, I lost my train of thought just that quick. To staying close to him and abiding in him, reading his word, asking God to cleanse me. That's what I was going to say. Asking God to cleanse me, show me my heart, show me the areas in my life that I need to clean up. Oh man. So yes, this is okay. Listen, sir, respectfully, Shabziel, respectfully, this is a Christian conversation, and we're not debating Islam. So please do not bring that over here. So anyway, very touching story. The full video is linked. It's linked below, and it should cause you, hopefully it causes you to examine your heart, even though, like I said, she wasn't a Christian. She did not believe in God. But she God's grace and mercy, by God's grace and mercy, she was able to have another chance. So I have to run, you guys. So tune in next week. No, I'm just kidding. But sorry, but I have to run. Okay, you're about to get blizzocked. All right. We're not talking, I'm not talking. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. We're not talking about Islam. Okay. Just stop. No, I am logging off. We're not, this is not what this is about. This is encouraging believers, Christians who are Christians, those who believe and follow Christ, encouraging us to examine our hearts because we want to make sure that we are doing this life right with Christ right now. That's what we want to make sure. So we get to experience heaven. We want to spend eternity with Christ. That's what we want to do. You know, I don't know about you. Here's what I do know. You know what? Shabzeel, here's what I will tell you. If Christianity were true, here's what I will ask you. If Christianity were true, would you believe it? If it were true, would you believe it? Because their truth and lies cannot exist. And if you want to talk about Islam, let's talk about it. Because I think I know enough about it to just, it's not really that hard to debunk. So you can email me, Keisha at KeishaKing.com. And then we can certainly have a debate. I am open to that. Keisha at KeishaKing.com. QUISHA at KeishaKing.com. But I will tell you, if nobody has ever told you, Shabzeel, that Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. He came to earth to save a corrupted, condemned world. It is not that, you know, Jesus came to condemn you. You are already condemned. If you do not have Christ as your Lord and Savior, you are already condemned and you're on your way to hell. Muhammad cannot save you. Allah cannot save you. In fact, you should go and watch the last live that I did. It's for Monday night. It is a Muslim man who died. Praise his holy name. Bless his holy name. Maybe this is why I felt so led. Let me tell you. Watch my Monday night live show. There was a Muslim man who came on my show. He died. He was going to hell and he cried for Allah. Allah didn't show up. He cried. He was doing the shahara, whatever. He was saying that. He was screaming as loud as he could for Allah. And he was saying, he was saying all this stuff. And Allah was not there. He did not show up when the man was going to hell. And the more he called, the faster he was falling. The faster he was falling to hell. The only thing that put him back in his body was him crying out to Jesus Christ. So, Shabzeel, you don't know my knowledge of Islam. So what are you laughing at? I haven't revealed any knowledge that I have of Islam. So, okay, you're showing your hand a little bit too soon. But Jesus is real. I can tell you this. And when you leave your body, when your soul leaves your body, you will have to answer for what you believed and put your faith in. And God is going to remind you of this very conversation right here today. He's going to show you your life. You are going to judge. You're going to see it. Okay. The Bible says we are condemned by our own words. Okay. So you're going to see it. And this day you will be reminded. I don't want anybody to go to hell. It is an awful place. Okay. And what is this? Okay. Well, Jesus is real, and this will, you will be reminded of this day, because those of us that are in Christ, he tells us to evangelize and to share the gospel with others. And so I pray that you seek the Lord, realize that he came just for you. He came for you. He loves you. He does not want you to spend eternity apart from him. That you can't even imagine what being separated from God is like. None of us, we can't even imagine. There is no hope. It is utter darkness. There is no hope. There is no laughter. There is no joy. There is no peace. Okay? So I would advise you, don't start quoting my Bible to me. You should go read it for yourself. Go read the words of Jesus. And you know what? You should compare. Read the words of Jesus and read the words of Muhammad. See which one brings you life and see which words bring you death. See, Muhammad, you know what Muhammad does? He guarantees you hell. You're guaranteed hell. You're not guaranteed life everlasting, because Muhammad, Allah, cannot give you life everlasting. Do you know where Allah came from? Do you know how the idol, the little g god Allah, do you know where that came from? You should study on that. You should read about it. It's pretty interesting. So anyway, you guys, thank you for joining. I love you guys so much. I'm going to be uploading some other videos soon, and this is you will find the links to that video in the description box below. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. If you want to chat or even possibly debate, we can pick a topic and we can go at it. I'm here for it. I love debates. Y'all know we're watching debates and stuff on here too. I'm adding that to some segments. Julian says, for there is one God and one mediator between God and man, the man Christ Jesus, who gave himself a ransom for all, to be testified in due time. Amen and hallelujah. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.